Highlights about this module. The first one is to create a form using the wizard. So as I mentioned, to make it quicker is just highlight the table you are interested in, and then just go to wizard, form wizard, and create it. So I will go quickly, that way you can just follow or look what I'm gonna do. That way, when you work on your assignment, you already know it. So I will let you kind of pay attention to what I will do, and then later on do it. Because it's gonna be fast, it will not take long. So this is how it is gonna be done. To create a table using the form wizard, it goes just to create and then form wizard while the table is highlighted. And then I will just select all. If I select those two guys, go next. And next, it seems to be this is an old version. It's not 2013, but if it is, then I will just call it, let's say, whatever name I want to call it. I will call it PBL, or we are creating a form, so it's going to be RM. So then finished. It's nice and easy, isn't it? Very clean. Now let's say that I want to do some formatting to this. That like the title of this form is not really nice. So Alexis and Lindsay, let's just pay attention a little bit for this, and then you can work on your assignment later. But let's just go over the highlights, because this will help you also when you work on your own assignment later on. So now let's say that we want to kind of fix the form here, the title of the form. Now we'll just go to Design View, or you can also go to Layout, and then you'll highlight this guy, and then just put it Patient, for example. Whatever the book tells you might be a little bit different, but this is kind of just a demo. Now, you will also be, you will need also to include a logo to your own group project. So there is a logo that you have provided, the Jayhawk Community Center logo. And for this, how to import it into the form is a little bit kind of has differences. So for this, what I will do, I will go to Design while I'm in the Layout view. So I will go to Design and then go to Logo and search for my icon or for that picture. So for that, I have it under my drive. So I'll go to Access, Files, Access 1, and Tutorial, and here it is. It's called Medical. For you, you can save it anywhere, that logo, and then you can just navigate for it. So now you will see that I have it here, but let's say that I want to try to move it. It doesn't move.
Excuse me.
It doesn't move, so that's a problem, isn't it? So to fix that, and you will need also this for later on when you build the reports and forms and so on. So now it is not moving because there is a layout already set. So let's remove that layout. To do that, I will right click on this picture and then go to Layout, and then I will say Remove Layout. So as soon as I remove that layout, I will be able to move it wherever I want. Now you can increase it, you can do whatever you want with it, because you removed that layout. So what we mean here by layout, it's like when you are creating a table and from several cells, and this picture happened to be in one cell. It doesn't move to another cell. So when you remove that layout, basically you are able to remove or to move it wherever you want. So you can use the mouse, you can use the arrows kind of to align it wherever you want. So that's something. Another thing here is how to apply a theme to a form only to the form. So to apply a theme, so for the theme to be applied, we have under Design Themes here. And then there are several themes. So this is the slice that the book tells you to select. For me, I'm not going to select it. I'm going to right click on it and apply to only this object. Means only to the form. Because if you click on it, it will apply to every object. Means to tables, to forms, to reports, to queries, and so on. So now we want to apply this slice theme to only this object, not other forms, only this object. So now that's how we did it. Right click on the theme and apply to this object only. So another thing that we can do is finding data using a form. So let's activate this. And there are what we call them wildcards. Wildcards are some of the icons that we can use for search. Those icons, they will be useful for searching in a form or searching using a query. So when we use a query, we will be able to apply those wildcards as well. So let's say that we will start with the asterisk wildcard. So the asterisk wildcard, what it really does, it matches any number of characters in the first or last of string. So if we will talk about that when we get into the queries. We will be saying select all means we'll put an asterisk to select all columns, but an asterisk means that it matches any number of characters, beginning, the end, and so on. So let's say start with, by searching only before we get into the wildcards. I will highlight or put the cursor under address. And then there are some ways if I want to search for a certain word within this particular form. One way is to use the keyboard shortcuts, which is for find, which will be
Control F.
So Control F, that's one. Another way is you already have it here, find. So I will use Control F because it's always more productive to use shortcuts. So, and then to match are you gonna match, do you want to match the whole field or just part of it? I will just match part of it because the keyword that I'm looking for is banal, and it is not in the whole field. It's just part of the whole field. So let's put it here, and then fine. Automatically it brought it up, and it is number 37 record. So that was simple. Now let's search for using the yes.
Will you put the magnifier on?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
So what I did, so I put banal in the find what, and I put the cursor under address, and that's how I found it. Now, if I want to put or to use the asterisk wildcard, as I mentioned, it matches any number of characters. Let's say that I am interested in a phone number that starts, I'll just put the cursor in the phone number field, and then I will put a cursor for 860-226 and then asterisk. Whatever number after that, please bring it up for me. So that's what I will do. I'll just type 860-226 and then asterisk. And then I will say find. You will see that it is finding every single number that matches the first numbers that I just put and whatever numbers after those numbers. So it matches any number. Yes?
Do you know like a good instance where that would actually like be helpful for us? Do you have any examples of something like that?
An example, let's say that you are looking for a patient, and you know that patient, you remember that patient, maybe the first name starts with an S. Well, let's do that. See how many patients we have that start with an S. That way, is it Sarah, is it Sam, or is it Sarah with an A, is it Sarah with an E? So let's do that. So to do that, let's put it in the first name, and I will put S and then asterisk. And I will see how many patients that have first name that starts with an S. So I will try find. So I have, well, S here is part of the name. Is part of the name, but if I want to have or to specify those who start with an S, then I can use some other techniques. So let's say we will start with Sarah. And we will use another wildcard here. This wildcard, we can use the question mark. Question mark matches an exact letter, any letter that we have, but it's only representing one letter. Let's say that I want to look for Sarah and how it is spelled. So S and then question mark, right? And then R, A. And then whatever asterisk is after that. So let's do that. So now you can see that we have Sarah, right? Because the question mark here tells us that any character, put it there. Whatever character there, please accept it or match it. So now we have Sarah. It is the only name that starts with an S, and then the third letter is R, and A, and then whatever letters after that. So does that make sense now, like how to search? You can use it also for Excel, I would say. So now that's, we have used the asterisk and we have used the wildcard question mark. So now let's look at another example here where we use the bracket. The bracket here, we can use it to match any single character within the brackets. Let's say that I want to have any letter, any name that starts with an S, and then I will use a bracket. And then I want also, or I will just use A, and then a bracket, and I will put FR, close the bracket, and I want to use T. So in other words, what I want is, I want any word in the city that starts with an A, or it doesn't have to start with an A, but it has this combination in order. A, F, T, or A, R, T. So those are the combinations I need, and it can be in any part of the word. So let's find that. West Hartford. That Hartford has A, and it has R, and it has T, right? So it matches those. So those are the only two words that I have in the city that have those particular or exact match. Yes.
Can you only put 2 letters in between the brackets?
Yeah, I put like, if I have a word that has A, F, T, if they have those in order, please show it to me.
Yeah, but I'm saying, could you do like A, F, E, R, T in
Yes.
the bracket? Yeah.
Yes, you can put whatever, and also you can put ranges. You can put like, but it has to be in an ascending order, like for example, from A all the way to C. Right? So and then you can do that. So this is how we can use the bracket. So it is very simple, very easy, and very valuable kind of technique, how we can search quickly for something. And then there is another wildcard character that we can use. It is the exclamation mark. So exclamation mark, when we use it, it means not. So when we use exclamation mark in anywhere, it means not. Let's say that I wanted a name that, let's say, start with an S, but it doesn't have E as a second letter. So I'll put a wildcard here at the end, and in this bracket, I will just put not, means exclamation mark, E. So I want any letter, except for Sarah. I don't want Sarah to be picked. So I want anything, any other name, but any name that does not have a second letter as E. So let's do that. So now do you see, they have only sound. Do you have anything else? Yeah, actually they have. So those letters, or those names that the second letter after S is not E. So I can narrow it down to that. Now let's see what else is there that we can use. So now we are clear about the exclamation mark means not. So we can use it, and we will have a lot of uses for it when we get into the queries later on, when we get into the SQL query. And so we did the ranges, and now let's look at the number sign. So the number sign matches any number for us. And remember when you did your assignment and you put between this date and this date, you used the hashtag before and after every date. So that's kind of a must for dates, in particular, at least for access. And for us here, it matches any number. Let's say that I want to select those zip codes that have 0600 and whatever number after 0600 and then whatever number there is. So what I will do here, I will just put 0600 and then I will put the hashtag or the number sign. So when I put the number sign, I will just find, and you will see that I have 06002. That seems to be the only zip code that matches my search. So now we know how to use those wildcards. Now let's say that I am interested in, yes.
Can you explain the number sign again?
Number sign is used to match any single number.
Just number?
Yes.
Okay, so the question mark's for a letter and the number for...
Yes, very good question. Yes.
Would the asterisk work too? Because when you did the phone number, did you use the asterisk?
Asterisk will do too. So let's see, now let's say that I am interested in, but we said the asterisk, we said for strings, is that right? We said for strings. Strings means not numeric, it's just anything that is text. So if you want, we can try it. Let's see if it will work. Also work. So now you can use it, although it says this for strings, so the asterisk also is used as a placeholder or it matches anything. Because numbers also can be used as strings as well sometimes. We can use them as strings. Especially when you use your, let's say for your email, sometimes you use Murad 2000. That's a number, but it is used as a string or as a text in that particular. The use for it is text, right? You are not using there for calculation. But I hope that answers your question. So now, let's say that I have a one-to-many relationship, and I have a patient, and every patient has many visits, right? And I want to track those visits for each patient. I want to see how many visits this, and what are the visits for each of those patients. So for that, I can create a form that consists of two tables. So for that, I will just go, I want to see first the relationships. As you can see here, I have a one-to-many relationship. So if I have a one-to-many relationships, and I want to build a form based on two tables, a form and a subform, always the subform is entered next or second, or the mini side is entered next. So first you put the mini side. In this case, what is the mini side that I need to enter first?
Visit?
So the mini side, the one side that I need to put first.
In patient.
The patient is the one side, right? So I will need to put all the values or the columns for patient first, and then I will put the mini side. Because I want, for every patient, I want to see the many instances of visits. So let's do that together. So I will do create, and then you can use the form wizard. And in this case, I will just select the patient, because that's what I'm interested in. There are certain values that I might be interested in to include. So let's say that I'm interested in including the first, or the patient ID, the first name, the last name, date of birth, phone, and email. So those are the only values I'm interested in, or columns. Now, I will switch. Now, how to create the subform while I am in this same screen. What I will do, I will switch, and I will go to the visit table. So now I am in the table that says patient, right? Now, I will go to the table that says visits. Now I need to select everything that I am interested from the visit, except for the foreign key, because the foreign key is by default is already there. So what is the foreign key there? Patient ID. So I'll just select all, and then where it says here visit patient ID, I'll just put it back, right? And then I will go next, and then this is where you can see kind of a preview. You will see that you will have, this is the main form, this is the subform. If you switch and you click by visit, it's going to be all in one. So it's all as one form. Here, you will not be able to see every single instance of visits. So you will have to click, and you will have a repetition. You will have the same patient has more than one form. But in this case, if you say by patient, you will see only one patient and whatever many visits they have. So we'll go next. And we'll put, and then you can just give it a name. In this case, let's call it FRM patient data. And finish. So now you can see how nice it is. What I can see here is I can just navigate, and you will see what we mean by many instances of visits. So every patient has many visits at a maximum. So this allows us kind of to track what Matthew West has and how many visits they have been visiting us. And this is kind of similar to what you will be doing for your assignment, for your team project. You will have every patient, and you will be track their assessments. So every patient will have several assessments. So in the first assessment, what was their score, what was their risk, and so on. So it is clear, straightforward. Now, let's say that I have a report and I want to have conditional formatting for a report. This is also very important because you will be required to apply this to your project, conditional formatting. So, one of the requirements of the user is that the end user said she wanted you to show when the level of risk of the assessment for that patient is no risk, put it in green. The background needs to be in green. When the level of risk is low to medium, put it in yellow, kind of the traffic lights. And then if it is high risk, then you put it in red. Unbold it, is that what you say?
No, I said cool, that was just joking.
Well, okay. But now, in this example, for this report, let's say that I have a report here, and I want to highlight, I want to make sure that the date of birth, if the date of birth is greater than 1997, then please put it in red and bold. Because I want to be able to identify those who were born after 1997. I wanted to identify them just by looking at it right away, right? So to do that, we can do conditional formatting. And Access will allow us to do that. So to do that, what we will be doing, we will go to Layout in Report. So Layout View, and then we will make sure that we are selecting the date of birth, and then go to Format, under Tool, and then go to Conditional Formatting. So conditional formatting, and now you will have to create a rule. So we will have to create a new rule. So I will click on that. So when this value, which I already selected, which was what value that I selected? Date of birth, right? So I selected date of birth, it is already selected. So when this value is selected, then when this value is selected, I want the field value if the field value is greater than, and then I would put the date of birth. So what was the date of birth that I'm interested in? January 1st, 1997, right? So who amongst you was born in the 90s? Any one of you in the 90s? All of you? So who was in the late 90s? So what was that, if you don't mind?
96.
96.
What?
96. Yeah, what I was doing at that time, 96. I was participating in my dad's election, talking about this election season. I was participating in my dad's election year. And he was elected in 1997 as a senator. So, and I felt how it feels like, that feeling. So you were not born in 1997, and in 1998 he came to the United States.
I was 2.
You were there too?
I was 2. I was 2 years old.
Yeah, you
I
were
was
2
here.
years. Yeah. So he came to Washington, D.C., and he was awarded by United Nations for something really good he did. But I hope that I can do something good as well, But it was the idea where he got the idea he wanted me to come to the United States. He was really impressed by education, by everything here. So that might tell you, but I didn't tell you how old I was, so I will not tell you how old I was during that time. But anyway, so now we are looking at this example, conditional formatting. We want to put the date of birth in bold and red if that person was born after 1997. And we say we don't have anyone who was born after 1997 in this classroom, so let's put that. So let's do that. So what do I need to put for the date? Anyone can remind us? Before I type the date, what should I put? So the hashtag, yes. So Access has this requirement of hashtag. SQL Server might not require. If you didn't put hashtag, it will highlight everything else. So it will highlight, but it will highlight something that is not accurate. So let's put 2000. Did I say 2000 or 1997? Yeah. So now I need to format that. I said I want to put it in red and I want to bold it, to even bold. So now I'll just apply and say OK and activate my report. So now if you see, so did it do? Yep, there we go. So now we can see those people who were born in 2005.
2010.
So any date of birth that was greater than 97 is highlighted in red and bolded. So this person was 97, but more than January 1st. So now we have accurate conditional formatting. So that was all that I wanted to cover for this module.